What's going on, guys? Coming at you today with another video for the First Descendant. Today I'm going to cover all the things that you need to know in order to build your characters correctly and effectively. Stay tuned. Okay, so there are several things you need to do in order to make your Descendants the best that they can be. Every Descendant is different in terms of playstyle and what mods they use, but the way that you upgrade them is exactly the same. The foundation of upgrading your Descendants is by catting them, using an item called a crystallization catalyst, or simply CAT. You can take a level 40 character and reset them back to level 1. Each time you do this, your character will get stronger. Let me break down exactly how this works. Here, you will see that there are 12 mod slots on the Descendant screen. The green one in the upper left is for your unique red mod, known as a Transcendent mod. These mods are character specific and change certain abilities that can fundamentally alter how your Descendant works and plays. The bottom left orange slot is your sub module. Here you can use sub-attack mods such as kicking or shock punch. But this is where your grappling hook goes as well, which is what everyone uses instead. The remaining 10 slots are for your actual build modules. These give you things like increased HP, reduced cooldown, higher critical hit damage, etc. There are 5 special rune type symbols that you'll need to max out your build: Cerulean, Almandine, Malachite, Xantic, and Rutile. These will vary depending on which Descendant you're using and which mod you chose for your build. Each character has a maximum of 85 capacity to place and upgrade modules, and each module has its own number of capacity required to slot it. The first thing you'll want to do is go here and use an energy activator. Each Descendant starts at a 50 maximum capacity. Using an activator raises that up to 70. This can be done once per character. The last 15 capacity comes from your sub-module slot. Once the module is fully upgraded, you'll gain an additional 10 capacity. Then once you cap that slot, you'll get the final 5 for a grand total of 85 available capacity. The Transcendent module slot does not need to be catted. Once you upgrade the transmod, its use capacity goes down automatically. Now, let's look at the build modules themselves. Here you'll see increased HP. It's Cerulean and requires 6 capacity to use. However, once fully upgraded, it requires 16 capacity to use. This is where catting comes into play. The slot that holds the increased HP needs to be catted to a Cerulean symbol. Once you apply the catalyst, the C symbol will appear and the number at the top of the mod will turn green. This slot now costs half the amount of capacity, so that 16 cost increased HP now only costs 8 to use. Repeat this process with each slot, matching the symbol types until your build is fully built and all of your modules are maxed out with the orange bars on the left. You can upgrade modules here at Cillian. I find it best to fill your build with all baseline baby mods, figure out where they're all going to go, set them where you want them, and then upgrade them one at a time as you cat. Each time you cat, you will drop back to level 1, but will retain all of the stats as if you were still level 40. Simply level back up to 40 and then cat again. Rinse and repeat until fully built. Arche tuning is another way to further customize your stats and build. Here, you will see a series of tiles, each with their own values, like max HP, max MP, extra cooldown, etc. Maxing this out is very important. You simply run content to gain Arche tuning experience until it reaches level 40, which will net you 40 points to spend around the board. Here in the four corners, you will see these little lock icons. These are special slots for mutant cells. Once you reach the lock, you can spend 100 fission accelerant to unlock the slot and then plug a mutant cell into said slot from a mutant cell box. Mutant cells cover just about everything from lowering enemy defense or elemental resistances to boosting your own skill power and elemental damage output. They are really nice for even further customization. And the final Descendant specific thing is the trigger module. Once you've catted at least 10 times, plugged in your energy activator, and reached Arche tuning level 40, you can use what's called a refined axiom crystal to unlock your trigger module slot at the prime hands. Trigger modules add extra effects and bonuses based on your ability's individual tags, such as ground AoE, crash, ally enhancement, projectile, etc. There's also this awesome item called a photon imprinter. What this does is it transfers all of your build progress from the standard Descendant automatically into their ultimate form. It transfers all catalysts, the energy activator, and the trigger module. So feel free to build up Descendants like Haley, Ines, Serena, etc. without having to worry about it being a wasted effort. Once their ultimate version comes out, you can simply transfer everything over and continue on with the beefed up version. Now let's move on to accessories. Reactors and external components can be equipped to push your character even further. These are basically this game's version of armor, like helmet, gloves, boots, etc. in any standard RPG game. You should always use a reactor that matches your current Descendant. For example, Haley is a chill Descendant, that's singular and dimension. The majority of her damage comes from singular, however, so you should use a frozen singularity, i.e. singular chill reactor. Reactors can be upgraded up to level 5 at the auxiliary workbench via the reactor enhancement option. Implant reactor allows you to add the weapon mounting type you wish to use. Having a matching weapon mount increases the stats of the reactor, which increases your skill power damage. Say you want assault rifle. Simply find a reactor that has an assault rifle mounting and absorb it into the reactor you wish to use. Note that the absorbed reactor will be destroyed, so only use an extra reactor or a junk reactor. Finally, the reactor option enhancement allows you to upgrade the 2 stats on the bottom of the reactor. Find the 2 stats you want: skill cooldown, skill cost, skill critical hit damage, etc. And this option will allow you to max them out. Whether they're blue, purple, or gold, you can make them both gold. For resources, of course. External components offer various bonuses and even have sets that give further bonuses for 2-piece and 4-piece setting. They also have the external components option enhancement available here at the auxiliary workbench, and it works the same way as the reactor. Find the 2 stats you want for each of the 4 external component pieces you wish to use and then upgrade them here. External components can be further enhanced via cores. Here at the core crafting workbench, cores can be used to add max HP, max defense, max shields, and various elemental resistances. Weapons can be a big part of your damage, especially if you're playing a gun-based Descendant like Serena or Glay, or using a support build on Descendants like Enzo or Nell. Weapons have modules just like your Descendants do, and they're catted and upgraded in the exact same way. Level the weapon proficiency to 40, cat it, which drops it back to 1, and repeat. Also, just like the Descendants, make sure you use an energy activator to get the max capacity of each weapon up to 80. Weapons can be upgraded further at the weapons workbench in 3 different ways. weapon level transmission, weapon adjustment, and enhance unique ability. Every time you craft an ultimate weapon at Anais, it starts at level 1. Weapon level transmission lets you sacrifice one weapon to boost the level of another. So you can take a level 100 blue or purple weapon and use it to make your ultimate weapon level 100. You then use the weapon adjustment option to re-roll your stats to the stats you want on any given weapon. Make sure you get them all to gold rolls and aim for stats that complement the weapon and your playstyle. Each ultimate weapon has a unique ability, and enhanced unique ability allows you to upgrade that to make it stronger. What you need to do is craft each ultimate weapon a total of 5 times. The first time lets you actually use said weapon, and the other 4 can be absorbed into the first to increase its power. Here you can see the little boxes. This tells you how many times this has been done. Once all 4 boxes are orange, the weapon's ability is fully upgraded. The last upgrade for weapons is to install its cores. Similar to the external component cores, this allows you to plug in additional stats and effects to your weapons. However, unlike the external components, these have to be unlocked per weapon using an item called a core amplifier. Each weapon has 5 core slots and they vary by weapon. Once they're unlocked, you can plug in the cores you wish to use. Again, aim for gold rolls and try to find stats to complement both the weapon and your play style. Anais is here for all of your crafting needs. And Cillian is where you go to combine, dismantle, and upgrade modules. Here at Sienna, you can access the laboratory and test out your builds on the different types of Vulgus troops and even the Colossi. Experiment with different modules and see what works for you. I have builds for every Descendant in the game, so check those out if you're interested. Right now, they have a special event going on called the Boost Path. This is a great starter program for new players, which helps them learn the basics of the game. This event nets you a free Ultimate Bunny, the Shepherd Fellow Dog, and even a couple ultimate weapons. At the time of making this video, there was about 15 days remaining on this event. They did say that they'd consider bringing it back in the future should the need arise. And that's it for this video, guys. I hope you found it helpful, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I also have videos for catting your characters, building weapons, and the trigger modules that go into a lot more detail if you're interested in that. Also, check out my Descendant build series if you're having trouble getting a good build for your characters. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Later.